mother's face. I thought I was the one that was giving. I was the one that was receiving. The floodgates were open. How many would like to be able to do that for your mother? Right? How many mothers would like your son to do that for you, by the way? You know, I had my mom at a conference, I don't know how many years it was after that, maybe 10 years. She was at a convention, and I was closing it in the United States. There was 4,000 or 5,000 people in the room, and when you get a chance to acknowledge your mom in front of an audience, you take it. And I was telling this story and just had her stand up, and we played some music and the flowers and the whole thing. And I'll never forget after that, she pulled me to the side after everybody had cleared out and the lights were off, and she goes, "You know, Jeffrey, I wish you wouldn't tell that story." She goes, "You make us sound like we were so poor." And she goes, "And by the way, that car now is over 10 years old." And she said, "It's a two-wheel drive and it's a little slippery." And I said, "I get your point." And she goes, "And another thing, don't forget you only have one mother." So I can't afford two the way this is going, right? It's so funny. Gordon knows this story. My mom was, she wanted to remodel her kitchen. I don't know if any of you ever remodeled a kitchen before, but I thought a remodel of a kitchen, like 50,000, 100,000. So I said, "Mom, no problem. You want to remodel the kitchen? No problem." And I'm out blowing and going, building my business. Get a call, "Well, your mom's kitchen remodel's up to 100,000 now." Then I get another phone call. "It's up to 200,000. Her kitchen's now over 300,000. It got over to 500,000 for a kitchen remodel. And I finally had to call her and say, "Mom, what's going on up there?" I said, "Are you building a whole new house?" And she goes, "Well, you told me I could remodel my kitchen." And she goes, "And if you don't want to help me, I'll just take out a loan." Okay. But you know what? Now I've been able to buy her a home on the beach and several cars and all these wonderful things. Another thing that charged me, guys. Have you ever lost somebody you love from stroke, cancer, or heart disease? Before I got into this business, I lost my father at the age of 46. You talk about a defining moment, something that shapes your destiny, a moment in time. When I got that phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning that my father had a massive heart attack and that was it, there was no second chance, it was the worst day of my life. And I remember getting off the phone and I was like, just emotionally just sick. And I remember just hearing this, I was like, that's it. And I'm in my early 20s, he's 46. And I said, "You know what, Jeff? You could turn the worst day of your life into the best day of your life based on what you do. It's not the event, it's the meaning you give it. It's not what happens in life, it's what you do with what happens in life." And I took that, thank you. Like we talk about, Jerry, divorce your story, marry the truth. And I took that deepest pain in life, and instead of just playing the me, me, me song, I said, "You know what, Jeff? How can you grow from this? How can you learn from this? What lessons are there? How can you become more? How can you have more capacity to serve and help someone else from this experience?" And it shaped me. I took that experience and I turned it from the worst day to the best day. Look, guys, I give it all back. The 90 million in commissions and bonuses, all the success, all the money in this business. If I could have got my own father on Juice Plus, because it just might have saved his life. It just might have saved his life. When you know what you know about Juice Plus, it's not an opportunity, it's a responsibility. How could you not share this with someone? And if I would have got him on Juice Plus, and he would have started taking Juice Plus, Let me ask you a question. How many of you, since you started taking Juice Plus, you eat more fruits and vegetables? How many of you drink more water? How many of you thought about working out in the gym? At least it's a thought, right? It starts a snowball process, doesn't it? I mean, it starts to get some things moving. And I remember, just this whole experience. Look, I'm Italiano. I thought the whole foods meant the whole pizza when I was So that was something that drove me in the beginning. The mom, the dad. I had last year I was in Israel, and I had some kids ask me in Israel, and I was talking to them in Tel Aviv. They were like, Jeff, was it worth it? Was it worth working that hard in your 20s and 30s and giving up some of the partying with your friends or the time on the beach? Was it worth the price you pay for this type of success? Because I was willing to say no to the things that really weren't that important so I could say yes for the rest of my life to things that truly mattered. Right? I'll share with you based on time, I can't tell you this story. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you the story. I told these kids, I said, let me share with you another story. I got a phone call from my mom about 5 years ago. My grandmother's 92 years old. She's getting really ill. My mom calls me up on the phone and she says, Jeffrey, Granny's she's not doing well. And she goes, I don't know how to ask you this, but she doesn't want to go to one of those homes. She wants to stay in her home. She'd like to stay here in her home. And it's expensive. I said, Mom, stop. The answer's yes. I said, absolutely. And I said, you tell me, was it worth it to be able to tell your mom yes, to keep your grandmother in her home? I was in Australia last year, and I was telling this story, and I came back after sharing this story. My mom called me up. This is 5 years later. My grandmother's 97 years old, and she said, just a couple hours ago, your grandmother passed away peacefully in her bed, and I was holding her hand. And I said, you tell me if it was worth it to be able to do that, to be able to give more and do more in life like that. So today, why do I do it? Thank you. Today, why am I here today? Why are some of these top earners from around the world here today? Why are we here? My why's evolved. It's not out of desperation, it's out of inspiration. Here today for you. I'll never forget where I came from. I'll never forget when I filled out my application. I'll never forget coming to my very first conference. We're here today for you. It's your turn. It's your chance now. It's your grand opening. You got a chance here to not to be a selfish NMD and stay home in your house and life's not about me, it's about we. I decided to retire into my business instead of from my business. You know how you have people that have the success, that science of achievement, they have the money, but you ever meet people that have money but they're not fulfilled? Anybody? They're not happy? Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure in life. In this business, it is rich in relationships, love and connection. The two spiritual needs, growth. Aren't you the happiest in life when you're growing and there's progress? And a chance to contribute beyond yourself. A chance to make a difference in this world. A chance to be part of a movement. Something that's mission-driven, purpose-driven. Something bigger than yourself, Jeff. Something that's full of meaning and purpose and fulfillment. Emotional and spiritual revenue. I mean, you're talking about something here that is priceless. Do you know how it feels when you have somebody come off that's a new rising star, or they're stepping up and they say, Jeff, thank you for believing in me more than I believed in myself in the beginning. Thank you for playing that small part in my success. Isn't that worth it? Well, I'm out of time. Clock's off. That's it. You know, people always say, well, Jeff, where do you get all this energy? You seem so fired up and so much energy. How many of you take the capsules, take 2 capsules, 2 and 2 a day? How many of you do 3 and 3? 4 and 4? Anybody do more than that? Sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll take like a bottle of it. I feel like Superman, like you got a cape on the back. People say, where do you get all this energy? Well, I did a shot of tequila before I came up, that's what I really did. But now you start taking the product. And one of the success tips I want to share with you is you have got to inspire you first. You've got to live the mission. You've got to become a product of the product. It's not what you say, it's how you feel about what you say. People communicate more with feelings than they do words. Step 1 is you become a raving fan customer, period. And it's, wouldn't you agree with me? It's easier to share something that you truly believe in and you're passionate about, and it's not from here, but it's from here, and to go out and share it by word of mouth. That's how it works. You've got that emotional sincerity. Listen, people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel. So I guess in closing, I'll share this with you. I have so much more I wanted to share, but let me just go back here. God, I had quite a training here, by the way. In closing, it's this. It's called action. It's the marching orders. What's next, Jeff? What's the next step? You know, you're at the right place at the right time, but it doesn't mean you get the prize. Timing is very important. I believe the next 3 to 5 years, you'll see the biggest growth in our 45-year history. But you've got to step up. You've got to take this thing serious and have that sense of urgency, that fear of loss, and really say, you know what, I'm going to set my standards high. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to be the best distributor. I'm going to hold myself accountable. Watch the feet, not the lips. Distributors do what you do, not what you tell them to do. You lead, not push. You go out there and set the example. And if you do that, if you get focused, you have that consistency and that discipline on the paying activities, and step up, your business and your team will explode. So I guess in closing is this. Thank you. If you've been searching in life like I was, you have found a home. Welcome to the Juice Plus family. Welcome to the company of heart. God bless you. I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you.
This is my jam. Keep the party into the AM. Y'all don't understand. Make me throw my hands.